My name is Eric Welch, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for this evening's event. I've been a teacher at this school for 19 years, and I'm honored to have been asked to be part of this ceremony this evening. Our school embodies all that is great being part of this community, and I believe that the school's new name, Justice, will continue to inspire us to achieve greatness. Today we are honoring the inspiration for this new name, 3 champions for equal rights, inclusivity, and justice for all: Barbara Rose Johns, Justice Thurgood Marshall, and Colonel Louis G. Mendez, Jr. To begin our program, we ask that you stand for the singing of our national anthem performed by the Justice High School Chamber Choir under the direction of Mr. Chad Steffi.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome to the podium Justice High School Principal Maria Eck.
Good evening, Justice High School students, staff, community members, and distinguished guests. My name is Maria Eck, and I am the principal of Justice High School. I want to welcome you to the rededication ceremony for Justice High School. We're gathered here today to celebrate our school and to honor 3 very courageous people that stood for justice and inclusivity for all. We have a wonderful program planned for you this evening, and to start the event off, please welcome to the podium Mason District School Board member Sandy Evans.
Thank you so much, Ms. Eck. We are thrilled to have you as the new principal at Justice High School, and I know you have gotten off to a very fast start. Welcome, students, parents, alumni, and community members, to this milestone event in the life of this amazing school. I would like to start by recognizing the elected officials who are joining us today for this historic ceremony. We have Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, Virginia State Senator Dave Marsden, Delegate Kay Corey, School Board Chair and Mount Vernon District Board Member Karen Corbett Sanders. School Board Vice Chair and at-large member Il Young Moon. School Board Member at-large Ryan McElveen. School Board Member at-large Karen Keys Gamara. School Board Member representing the Providence District Dahlia Palchik. School Board Member representing the Drainsville District, Janie Strauss. School Board Member representing the Braddock District, Megan McLaughlin. And we are being joined, even as we speak, with our wonderful Congressman, Jerry Connolly. And of course, we have our superintendent, Dr. Scott Brabrand. I also want to extend a very warm and special welcome to the members of the families of Colonel Louis G. Mendez, Jr. and Barbara Rose Johns who are with us, and send regards to members of the Justice Thurgood Marshall family who could not join us tonight. We're delighted to see so many family members here today to commemorate their legacies. I am deeply, thank you, yes. I am deeply honored to stand here before you to help rededicate our local high school and to celebrate its new name, Justice High School. As we do so, we honor the history of this wonderful school, but also turn to a new chapter in its story. It has been a long and sometimes difficult journey to get here, but one worth taking. In June 2015, a group of students raised concerns about the name of their school, its association with the Confederacy, and all that that stood for. They came to me and to other school board members asking that we change it to one that was reflective of the diversity of this school, one representing the values of equity and inclusion that we hold so dear. Spurred by the advocacy of those students, as well as a number of parents, alumni, and community members who weighed in on all sides of the question, the school board embarked on a 2-year conversation over this issue. While there was a wide range of strong viewpoints, I know that all who participated had the best interests of this school at heart, and I want to thank all who became involved and engaged. That engagement is a real strength of this community. After considerable deliberation and debate, the board on July 2017 made its decision that the school would, in fact, get a new name. The next step was to select the name. Ultimately, and for the first time in Fairfax County history, the board chose a name designed to honor the legacy of 3 towering individuals, each of whom had garnered significant public support during the naming process, and all of whom represented the quintessential American value of justice. Each of these individuals, Justice Thurgood Marshall, Barbara Rose Johns, and Colonel Louis G. Mendez, Jr., had fought for equal rights, inclusivity, and justice for all. Today we celebrate them, but more importantly, we honor the values they represent, and all of those who fight for justice and equality in our country, in our community, and in our neighborhoods. It's a particularly fitting name for this school, which is one of the most diverse and inclusive in the county and in the country. The school's motto is "We are one," and the students, teachers, and staff here live that motto every day. As President Lyndon Johnson said in addressing Congress about the landmark Voting Rights Act, the time of justice has now come. I tell you that I believe sincerely that no force can hold it back. The time for Justice High School has now come, and no force will hold back this school or its students. The new name is on the front of the building. The gym floor sparkles with the Justice Wolves logo. The students are wearing brand new Justice Wolves uniforms. The girls' field hockey team won the first Justice High School trophy, And the Justice High School football team won its first 2 games. But more importantly, the name glows with our hopes and dreams for the future. I am proud of our students, parents, teachers, staff, and community, and thank all who worked so hard and continue to work hard to make the transition a success. This gem of a school will shine even brighter under the proud name of Justice High School. Thank you. And now it is my honor to introduce Congressman Jerry Connolly, who has represented us here in the 11th District since January 2009. Before that, he served for 14 years on the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors, the last 5 years as its chair, and he continues to be a great partner with our local government and public schools, and we thank him for that service. Please welcome Congressman Connolly.
Wow. Justice High School. First of all, Sandy, thank you for your leadership. Give it up for Sandy, who helped lead this effort. So let's talk a little bit about why today was necessary. This was a painful decision for a lot of people in our community, especially people who remembered this high school fondly and didn't associate it in their minds with anything negative. It was their high school. It's where families came together, athletes competed, scholars excelled, fond memories of teachers and classroom experiences. And that was all right as far as it went. When I first moved to Fairfax County, not that long ago, I'm from Boston. I couldn't believe they named things after Jeff Davis, Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, Jeb Stuart. What? But we did. Sometimes we did it in respect for history. But let me give you a key date in our history, 1958. And if you were a person of color, you remember. The United States Senator led the effort to prevent you from being here. And as part of that massive resistance against a court order, the law told them to integrate, and they decided to defy it. And as part of that effort, they renamed or named buildings as a stick in the eye. Confederate heroes. Just to remind you who was in charge. 100 years after the Civil War had ended. Not like, well, we need a little time to adjust. 100 years? And so the name of this school, sadly, was part of an ignoble era in our history, where black children didn't even have a high school. They were bused to Manassas from Fairfax County. A long drive before the Beltway, before 66. They looked out the window and could see their white counterparts in the corner waiting for their school bus to their neighborhood high school. Think about the degradation of that experience. Think about the collective statement that made to a whole class of human beings who had done nothing other than be born with a different color. That's the wrong we are righting today. Thank you for your collective courage. Thank you for your willingness to insist on this change, even though that might seem to a lot like ancient history. But it isn't, is it? When the President of the United States can look at a white racist rally that leads to a death and say both sides are equally to blame, we know renaming this high school is more important than ever. Right here in Fairfax County, we're sending a message. Not here, baby. That's ancient history, and we renounce it. That kind of resistance, that kind of bigotry and hatred is no longer welcome here. You will find no friends in Fairfax County for that way of thinking. And that's also the meaning of today. And as we fight the empowerment some people seem to feel about racial supremacy, we also, as Virginians, can take pride in the fact that right here today, joining us, is an African American who is our proud Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. The civil rights movement was not in vain. Its purpose, its zeal, its passion live with us. We're the legatees of a movement people gave their lives for. Took great courage. We're even here in Virginia. And we can be proud of the fact that we're doing this, but we also need to rededicate ourselves. Not only in our community, but our country. That we stand for something. Don't always live up to those ideals, but by God, we stand for inclusion. We stand for acceptance. We stand for that equality Thomas Jefferson promised, but couldn't deliver at the time. That is our work. And today is another milestone representing our commitment to that work. And to that end, by the way, I had a new flag for Justice High School flown over the United States Capitol to celebrate what we're doing today. And I even have a certificate proving it because I am a member of Congress and I got to verify. So congratulations to everybody. This is a day to be proud of and to celebrate. And let's continue the work we've begun. God bless you all.
Thank you, Congressman. I'm also delighted that we are joined today by Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. You probably know that when he was elected in 2017, he became the first African American to serve as Virginia's Lieutenant Governor. But you may not know that he is also a Fairfax County resident and a Mason District resident. And you probably don't know, and I am particularly proud to add that he served as my appointee for several years on the school board's Minority Student Achievement Oversight Committee. So please give a warm welcome to Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax.
Thank you all so much. Good evening, everyone. It is an incredible honor to be here with you on this day and on this special occasion. And all I could think as I heard our great Congressman and Sandy Evans, who is my school board member and so proud of that, heard them speak about what we are doing here today, is that Virginia got better today. Virginia became a place where we value inclusion and diversity and embrace hope and education and opportunity for all. As Dr. Martin Luther King once famously said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And what we know is that it takes people to bend that arc of the moral universe. And everyone here today, everyone who has participated in this thoughtful process of citizens coming together to both look at our history and extract the best that we know we can be when we rise to our highest ideals, and arrived at a solution where we now honor 3 extraordinary Americans in history. You have helped bend the arc of that moral universe. And I know that every single student, staff, administrator, faculty who walks through the halls here at Justice High School, and Principal, I want to give you another round of applause and thank you for your leadership and all that you've done throughout this process. We are so grateful to you. That all who walk through these halls will walk through the halls with pride and will carry that pride with them throughout their lives and their academic careers, knowing that they come from a place in a community that values every single person. Sandy Evans is so proud of me that she made me the first African-American Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, but Doug Wilder will yell at me if I don't say that he was actually the first, and I was the second. That's how proud Sandy is of me as her constituent. But I, too, follow in some extraordinary footsteps serving in this capacity. And I want to share with you 2 different stories related to that service that I think embody what we are experiencing and witnessing today. During the week of our inauguration in January of this year, I was in the Capitol building with my family and friends, and it was a cold but really wonderful and exciting day. It had been discovered earlier that week, right here in the Fairfax County Courthouse, a manumission document that had freed my great-great-great-grandfather, Simon Fairfax, from slavery in Fairfax County, Virginia, on June the 5th, 1798, 220 years prior. And thank you. And my father received a copy of that manumission document 2 days before our inauguration. He then gave me a copy of it 20 minutes before I walked out the Capitol steps to raise my right hand to take the oath of office as the 41st Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. And so on that day, which is a very powerful day, what we saw is that Simon Fairfax, who had been enslaved in the Commonwealth of Virginia, had his great-great-great-grandson being installed as the number 2 in command of the very same state. We know what we can do when we rise to our highest ideals, when we support opportunity for all, when we give people education and freedom, and we believe in the spirit that all human beings have value and have worth and should be given the opportunity to rise. And I had that document in my breast pocket as I took the oath of office, and I often carried it with me as I presided over the Senate of Virginia during our General Assembly session. And I felt not only the power of my family's connection, but that really is a Virginia story and an American story. And so it came to pass that we had 2 days in the General Assembly session where senators wanted to adjourn in honor of 2 different Confederate generals, one Stonewall Jackson and one Robert E. Lee. And as Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, you preside over the motions in the Senate. Well, once I learned that that was going to happen, I informed all of the senators and the staff present that I would not preside over those motions. I stepped down from the dais and sat on the bench that's reserved for pages, and I did that as a quiet and dignified protest because I was elected to be Lieutenant Governor for all of Virginia and not some of Virginia, to make sure that everyone's dignity and worth is respected. And so we hear the echoes of history. We feel the spirit of those who have gone before us and who in their own time and in their own ways have helped to expand the field and the scope of opportunity for all, regardless of the color of one's skin, who they love, what God they pray to, what zip code they live in, what country they were born in, what language they speak. We believe in the worth and the dignity of every single person. And the rededication of Justice High School is further evidence of that fact, and the fact that that is alive and well here in Fairfax County and in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And so I applaud you for the work that you have done to bring this tremendous day about. It is a day that will live in history and will be a bright light in the future to those seeking to have us rise to our highest ideals and to our better selves. We know that in the Pledge of Allegiance, which we all say, in honoring our country and our flag and our commitment to one another, that we say that it's liberty and justice for all. And that is a principle that is being reaffirmed right here today by every single one of you. So thank you all. I'm honored to serve as your Lieutenant Governor. I'm honored to live in this wonderful community with such great people, and our best days are yet to come. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's now my pleasure to introduce our wonderful superintendent, Dr. Scott Brabrand. Dr. Brabrand became superintendent a bit over a year ago, returning home to Fairfax County, where he spent most of his professional career in education. In that year's time, Dr. Brabrand and his team have made a great positive impact on our school system, and his leadership has been crucial in making the transition that we commemorate today. Dr. Brabrand.
Good evening, everybody. It's a great night to be alive in Fairfax County and at Justice High School. Thank you, Ms. Evans, for that kind introduction. Thank you, Principal Eck. We are so grateful to have you leading this school this year. You are going to do a terrific job, and you have a track record as one of the strongest principals ever in Fairfax County. Thank you for leading Justice High School. And students and parents and staff, I'm so excited for all of you to be here. In fact, I want to particularly thank our distinguished guests, Congressman Connolly, Lieutenant Governor Fairfax. Your remarks were incredibly powerful. Let's give them both a big round of applause. They wouldn't be here if the school board had not made this decision. And school board members, I want to thank you and Ms. Evans for your leadership bringing us here today. I also just want to get a chance to recognize a few members of our leadership team. School board folks were recognized a little earlier, but we got a few folks here I just want other folks to get to know. We have our Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Frances Ivy. I'd like her to be recognized. Our Chief Academic and Equity Officer, Dr. Francisco Duran. Brendan Manui and Penny Gross, I think, are both here. Penny, where are you? She's here, okay. Thank you, Penny, for your leadership. Your work has made this school more dramatic student achievement and graduation rate improvement of almost any school in the Commonwealth. Thank you, Penny, for all you did. I also want you to know we have 5 regions in Fairfax. We're a big system. But all of you know that the very best region assistant superintendent in Fairfax County Public Schools is Dr. Fabio Zuluaga, the leader of this region. We have a lot of our principals from the pyramid here in Justice High, and I would just ask our principals who are here tonight to please stand. Please stand and let's applaud them. Yay, there you are. Again, welcome. It's so exciting to have everyone here tonight. It is a special day for all of us in Fairfax County Public Schools. I couldn't help but when I walked in today, the cheerleaders were here and we did a big justice chant. And I was here for the very first day of school. And we're here in the evening. It's after school. It's in the evening. But I want you to know how this community, the students and the staff, have rallied around this name and are committed to an amazing school year here in Fairfax County Public Schools. Thank you, staff, for all you have done to make tonight possible. As Miss Evans said, it really is beginning a new chapter on the legacy of excellence that's always been here, that has always been here, and now we are called more than ever before, the student body and community, to embrace the true meaning of community, sharing with one another and supporting one another to achieve a common goal, creating and nurturing a school where we do portrait of a graduate here in Fairfax County, where all students can become creative, collaborative, critical thinkers, global citizens who are resilient and have an ethical, moral compass to guide them, and who can also find success in college and career when they graduate. The support for students here in this school is immense. I have been here multiple times, and the amazing amount of support. This is truly a community school here in Fairfax County, and I appreciate the parents and the teachers, staff, the alumni, the community members and businesses, all of them who have supported Justice High School and will continue to support this school as we move forward. A lot has taken place over the summer. It couldn't have been done without so many people, efforts, and we really worked around the clock to get ready for this first day. And Justice students, I know it's time for me to stop talking so you can come up and share with this audience everything that you've done. I thank you. I thank the cheerleaders, that choir. Let's give them a big round of applause again. We're in a special school with special students, special staff, special leadership. And as I shared at the end of the leadership conference that we bring everybody together in Fairfax, I talked about joy. The Book of Joy is out now, written by the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, both moral figures who've gone through very, very tough, difficult things in their countries and their societies, but always finding the joy, finding the love. And I call to this community this evening to take that book of joy and that message about framing the positive situations that we have each and every day to become more and more a strong community, to be kind and generous to one another, to share our experiences together, to share our strengths, to acknowledge our weaknesses, and to bring joy to this school, to this community, so that these students can thrive. That's what we want today, and I am sure that that's what Justice High School will deliver for all of our students who walk these halls. So congratulations. Under Principal Eck's leadership, we are going to have an amazing year here at Justice High. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Congressman Connolly, Lieutenant Governor Fairfax, School Board Member Sandy Evans, and Superintendent Brabrand for supporting our school and being here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Justice High School Chamber Choir as they perform Stand Together.
Stand
As you know, the school was renamed Justice High School to honor all those who stand up for the cause of justice. Today we honor the three individuals who were the inspiration behind our new name: Barbara Rose Johns, Supreme Court Justice, Thurgood Marshall, and Colonel Louis G. Mendez, Jr. This portion of the program will be led by our students as they highlight the lives of these three honorees. Please welcome to the podium students Elijah Jeffries, Irene Hossein, and Noah Jeffries as they honor the life of Barbara Rose Johns.
Good evening. Barbara Rose Johns was a hero.
Her voice and actions changed this state and this country forever.
As a student and educator, she believed all children should be given the opportunity to learn. Barbara Rose Johns attended Robert Ruth Samoan High School in Prince Edward County, Virginia in the early 1950s. This was the time of segregated schools in Virginia, and Moulton High School was the all-black school for the community. Barbara and her fellow black students knew that their school was a lesser standard than the school for the white students. They had no science labs, no gyms, lacked heating for the winter, and the roof had leaks, forcing students to use umbrellas during the class. And some students even had classes that were held in temporary tar paper shacks.
Miss Johns knew this was wrong. Parents had complained to the school board about the conditions, but little was done. She said it was after seeing a bus of white students drive by her, heading off to their school, that she decided she could no longer be silent. On April 23, 1951, at age 16, she led a student strike at Moen High School to demand better conditions at their school. With Miss Johns leading the way, students walked out of classes at Moen High School and marched to Prince Edward County Superintendent's office to protest and demand they be treated the same as their white counterparts in the community. The protest gained national attention, and 2 days later, lawyers from the NAACP offered to represent Miss Johns and other students in a lawsuit to desegregate schools in Virginia. The case became known as Davis versus Prince Edward County. It would become one of the 5 cases that were part of the Supreme Court case, Brown versus Board of Education, that ended segregation. It was the only case initiated by students to demand the end of segregation, and many historians note this student protest led by Barbara Rose Johns as the start of the civil rights movement in the United States.
Barbara Rose Johns' brave actions on April 23, 1951 changed this state and this country. It is because Barbara Rose Johns believed that all students should be given the opportunity to be educated, that today our own school offers a world-class education to all students from our diverse community. Barbara Rose Johns went to attend Spelman College and Drexel University. She became a school librarian in Philadelphia Public Schools, devoting her life to educating young people. Her courage as a teenager to fight for justice and equality will always be remembered and honored. Her actions serve as an inspiration to students of our school to remember that our voices do matter and that we can change the world for the better. She is a true American hero. At this time, we would like to ask the siblings of Barbara Rose Johns' family, Joan John Cobb and Ernest Johns, to stand up and be recognized.
Please welcome next to the podium Julia Clark, Alicia Gendel, and Kevin Ma as they honor the life of Justice Thurgood Marshall.
Justice Thurgood Marshall was a fighter for justice and equality.
He was a civil rights hero whose work reshaped modern America, opening doors for millions.
Our school, with all its diversity, is his legacy.
Thurgood Marshall is one of the greatest fighters for justice in our country's history. His life was dedicated to the cause of civil rights. Through his intellect, passion, and oratory skills, Thurgood Marshall transformed our nation, demanding we truly live up to the ideals of equality and justice found in our Declaration of Independence and Constitution. Born in 1908, the son of a railroad worker and a teacher, Thurgood Marshall began his journey towards success through education. He attended Lincoln University, the United States' first degree-granting Black university, alongside other famous African Americans such as poet Langston Hughes. At first, he was not the best student, but through his leading role on the debate team and motivation he received from his wife, Thurgood Marshall eventually became a rising star among his peers.
Justice Marshall's ability to debate led him to pursuing a career in law. Barred by Maryland's segregation laws from attending the State University's law school in Baltimore, Justice Marshall began law school in 1930 at Howard University. This was where he developed his passion for fighting for equal rights. At age 26, just out of law school, Justice Marshall represented the NAACP in successfully winning the case Murray versus Pearson, arguing that University of Maryland's law school must admit African Americans. He went on to become the chief counsel for the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and won 29 out of 32 cases he argued before the U.S. Supreme Court. The case he is most known for is arguably the most important Supreme Court case in our country's history, Brown versus Board of Education. Justice Marshall was the lawyer representing the students in this case. Citing the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause, Justice Marshall argued that segregating schools was not providing equal educational opportunity for African Americans. He won the case, ending segregation in schools and starting a wave of other court cases and laws over the next several decades that would provide equal rights to more people in our nation.
Justice Marshall's important role in the civil rights movement and his legal expertise led him to being chosen to become a federal judge. In 1963, he was selected by President John F. Kennedy to be a justice on the U.S. Court of Appeals. Although his nomination was blocked for several months by a group of Southern senators, he would eventually be confirmed for the seat, where he made numerous decisions to support the rights of immigrants, limit government intrusion in cases involving right to privacy, and ensure due process of law for all people. None of his majority decisions were ever overturned by the Supreme Court. In 1967, President Lyndon B. Johnson selected Thurgood Marshall to be a Supreme Court justice, the first African American to serve on our nation's highest court. He served as a Supreme Court justice for 23 years. Justice Marshall and his wife lived in our school's boundary in Lake Barcroft and was the first Black homeowner in the Lake Barcroft community. His wife is still a resident of Lake Barcroft.
Thurgood Marshall was and always will be a fighter. He challenged authority and pushed the legal and political establishment of our country to live up to the ideals of justice and equality for all. He inspires us to do the same. To quote Thurgood Marshall, "We must dissent from the indifference. We must dissent from the apathy. We must dissent from the fear, the hatred, and the mistrust. We must dissent from a nation that has buried its head in the sand, waiting in vain for the needs of its poor, its elderly, and its sick to disappear and just blow away. We must dissent from a government that has left its young without jobs, education, or hope. We must dissent from the poverty of vision, the absence of moral leadership. We must dissent because America can do better, because America has no choice but to do better." While the Marshall family regrets that they could not attend, Thurgood Marshall Jr. sent the following greeting to us on behalf of the Marshall family. Thank you very much for inviting our family to the Justice High School rededication ceremony this evening. We are disappointed that our schedules prevent us from being able to join you. On behalf of Justice Thurgood Marshall's family, I want to extend our deep appreciation that you have named our neighborhood school, Justice High School, in part to honor my father's work and legacy in advancing civil rights for all and preserving the rule of law. It is a great honor, and an honor made more special in that it is shared with Barbara Rose Johns and Colonel Luis Mendez Jr., among others who fought for justice. We send our best wishes to everyone in your future academic and athletic endeavors, especially to the inaugural graduating class of 2019. Thank you.
Please welcome to the podium Michael Mendez Sandoval, Jasmine Martinez, and Jennifer Giron as they honor the life of Colonel Luis G. Mendez, Jr.
Colonel Luis Gonzaga Mendez Jr. was a leader whose brave actions helped save the world from Nazi tyranny in World War II.
He was a trailblazer, a man ahead of his time in breaking down barriers.
He was an intellectual who knew and appreciated the power of education.
Colonel Luis Gonzaga Mendez Jr. was born in Trinidad, Colorado in 1915. He was of Mexican, Spanish, and Navajo Indian descent. He took advantage of every educational opportunity offered to him. He became valedictorian of his high school class. His success led to Colorado Governor Bob Carr recommending him for appointment to West Point Military Academy. After graduating from West Point in 1940, Colonel Mendez was assigned to the 82nd Airborne Division and served as the commander of that division's 3rd Battalion's 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment. His regiment was one of the first groups of Allied soldiers to land in Normandy, France on D-Day, 1944.
Colonel Mendez and his men were dropped behind enemy lines and courageously liberated a number of towns in Normandy, disturbing Nazi communication and transportation lines. As they moved inland, Colonel Mendez and his regiment took part in other key battles, including a counterattack during what was known as the Battle of the Bulge. This helped lead the Allies to victory over Nazi Germany. For his bravery and leadership, Colonel Mendez was given the Army's Distinguished Service Cross, and the town of Pretot-Vicmar, one of the towns in France that Colonel Mendez helped liberate, renamed its main square La Place du Colonel Mendez, honoring his service. After the war, Colonel Mendez went on to receive advanced degrees from the Command and General Staff College and the Industrial College of the Armed Forces, as well as from Georgetown University. He also served as a military attaché to Spain.
Colonel Mendez eventually settled with his family here in Falls Church, and some of his children attended our school. After his time in the military, he worked for the Virginia Department of Education and was National Director for the Right to Read program, promoting literacy as a fundamental skill all students need and deserve in order to learn. Colonel Mendez illustrates the impact all of us can have if we are willing to give our best and dedicate our lives to a cause larger than ourselves. Think of the thousands of people in France who were saved by his actions. Think of the thousands of people in America who are reading and learning thanks to his actions. Colonel Mendez is a courageous leader, a trailblazer, and an intellectual who inspires students at our school to follow in his footsteps. He made a great impact on this world, He is an American hero, worthy of the utmost honor and respect.
At this time, we would ask members of Colonel Louis G. Mendez's children, Pamela Mendez Allen, Nikki Mendez Goldsboro, Tina Mendez Morgan, Lori Mendez Packer, and Joy Mendez Smore, to please rise and be recognized.
Wow, I'm very inspired. If you're not inspired, I think you got to check your heart. Well done. Please join me again giving a round of applause for all our honorees and the student speakers. At this time, please welcome to the podium our Student Government Association co-presidents, Kira West and Joe Jackson.
We are the SGA co-presidents. On behalf of our student body, we are excited about our school's new name and welcoming a new principal to Justice High School, Miss Maria Eck. Miss Eck has had a wide range of experience in education before coming to Justice High School. She worked in Miami-Dade County schools in Florida as an ESOL teacher and as an administrator. Upon moving to Fairfax County, she was an administrator at elementary and middle schools, including Glen Forest Elementary School and Glasgow Middle School. Most recently, she was principal at Poe Middle School before coming to Justice.
Ms. Eck is a proud Cuban American and is excited to utilize her bilingualism and expertise in English language learning here at Justice High School. Our new name resonates with her own educational beliefs, as she strongly believes in equity and making sure all students are provided opportunities to succeed. In our first 2 weeks of school, Ms. Eck seems to be everywhere, greeting students and encouraging us to do well. Mr. Welch made the comment to us that he has yet to see her without a smile on her face. We hope to keep it that way. Please join us in welcoming Miss Maria Eck, our principal of Justice High School.
So thank you for that introduction. I am the proud principal of this wonderful school. I have been on the job for less than 2 months, and I want to share with you how so impressed I am with the students, staff, and families that make up this Justice community. I have some history with this community. I began my career as an instructional leader in this community, having served as an assistant principal at Glasgow Middle School a few years ago, and I'm thrilled to be connected again with the families in this pyramid. A few things you need to know about Justice High School. Justice is a comprehensive high school with an international student body of over 2,200 students. 2/3 of our students are second language learners from more than 70 countries. We embrace our diversity. Our diversity is our strength, and all students, regardless of where you came from or how you arrived, are welcome at Justice High School. And so let me repeat that again. Abrazamos nuestra diversidad. Nuestra diversidad es nuestra fortaleza. Y todos los estudiantes, sin importar de dónde vienes o cómo llegaste aquí, son bienvenidos a Justice High School. Justice offers a world-class curriculum, including AVID and the International Baccalaureate program and diploma option. Our faculty is dedicated to providing a wide variety of classroom experiences designed to meet the needs of our diverse population. I've been so impressed with their commitment and passion for our students. The school is fully accredited by the Virginia Department of Education. Our students are, however, more than a test score. Here at Justice, our teachers make incredible efforts to provide our students with multiple opportunities to demonstrate their learning through writing, learning circles, discussions, and exhibitions of learning. We're also fully committed to the ideals of FCPS Portrait of the Graduate, which comprises all that we want our students to be: communicators, collaborators, ethical and global citizens, creative and critical thinkers, goal-directed and resilient. Spend some time with our students and their families, as I have, and you will quickly learn how they demonstrate resilience with an upbeat, positive attitude in the face of some pretty challenging circumstances. I want to thank my predecessor, Penny Gross, for her tireless efforts to raise expectations for this school. All of us are grateful for her work, and we want to build on those successes as we begin a new school year. One of my primary goals as principal is to ask all of us, administrators, teachers, support staff, students, families, and neighbors, to be ambassadors for this great school. I'm personally committed to ensuring that we take ownership of our own story, and we have a fabulous story to tell. Together, we need to spread the word about how Justice provides an outstanding education for all of its students in a positive and welcoming environment. We need to share with our community all the great things that happen in this building each and every day. We have a rich history of high levels of student participation in curricular and co-curricular activities. We're particularly proud of our award-winning band, orchestra, and chorus. Our athletic teams have a tradition of success. In fact, our boys soccer team made it all the way to the state championship match this past June, and all of us are proud of their achievement. I've heard Dr. Brabrand say on more than one occasion how important it is to love our students, to love teaching and learning. That kind of passion exists right here at Justice High School. We're a school where everyone shares in the responsibility for the success of every one of our students. Our school enjoys the benefit of a dedicated and highly active parent-teacher-student association and booster clubs, as well as partnerships with Bailey's Crossroads Rotary Club, the Urban Alliance, Genesis Works, and the Justice High School Scholarship Fund. Our teachers are truly dedicated to the success of each of our students. Our students are engaged and eager to reach their full potential as they prepare for college and the workforce. It is a partnership, and we need the support of all of you here today to help us achieve this goal. Today is an exciting day for us. Together we turn the page and begin a new chapter in this great school. This will be a journey filled with love and passion for kids, a journey of high expectations, and a journey of hopes and dreams for all our students. Thank you so much for your support and for being here this evening to join us in this joyful celebration. So at this time, if I can ask our wonderful students, along with our school board members, elected officials, and members of the Johns and Mendez families to join me on stage, we will cut the ribbon celebrating the rededication of Justice High School. You got it, you got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will conclude our ceremony with the Justice High School Chamber Choir singing our school's alma mater. Please join us in the little theater afterwards for refreshments. Once again, on behalf of our high school and community, thank you all for coming tonight to celebrate with us. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Come lead us on to paths of light, soon we must walk alone. Sing of our honor and loyalty, sing of the friends we've known. Learn how to love and hold on to your dreams, these things we've known are true. In the winter of age we'll remember the spring of the youth that we shared with you. Dear alma mater, we sing your song, now and as years go by. All of the best that is ours to give, we pledge to Justice High.
Again, thank you for being here to celebrate with us this evening. There will be a reception just out to the left of the auditorium in the little theater.